going to use our affected side to actually push up from the chair like you normally would. So what you'll do is you'll take your affected hand and put it on the armrest of the chair. Then you'll work on pushing up from the chair with that arm and standing. On the back end, you'll also work on reaching back, grabbing, and then slowly lowering down. To make it easier, you could use both hands, or you can have a caregiver or a family member stabilize your hand on the chair when you're going up and down. It is important if you have any issues with balance or standing that you have somebody actually stand next to you on your weaker side to make sure that you don't fall. For this activity, we're going to work on pouring from, I have a coffee pot, but I would highly recommend that you don't use something that is glass and could break easily if you dropped it. So something like a plastic pitcher would be a really great thing to start using. So what you'll do is you'll actually take your affected side and grab the handle of the pitcher or the mug or whatever it is, and then lift and rotate through your forearm to help tip the pot or the pitcher and pour water into a cup. Then you'll put it down. You'll come back up, lift up, and pour. So, if that is too difficult for you to lift the pitcher up, especially if it's full and pretty heavy, what you can do is just support it in your hand and then start to rotate it without lifting it up into the air. Pour a little bit of water down and then put it back down. So in that situation, I'm not lifting as much and pouring. I'm doing it more stabilized on the countertop. So pour and down. Obviously, you wouldn't want to use like a hot liquid because it can also spill and burn you. So we want to avoid anything like that. I just have room temperature water in here, so we're pouring and then releasing. After that is done, I would then take the cups and work on lifting and pouring the cup contents back in. And if you can see, the rotation is actually coming from my wrist and my forearm actually rotating and flipping the cup. Try to avoid doing things like when you really can't pour. So really try and focus on rotating, getting all the contents out, and then putting down. So you'll go through all of that. And if it's too difficult, you can adjust the weight of the pitcher by not adding as much liquid as we talked about before, and just doing a little bit smaller amounts in the cups. For this activity, you're going to want something like a book or a folder or a binder, and we're going to work on opening it and closing it with our affected side. So you'll reach down and try and grab the edge of the binder, and then flip the hand open and open it up. Obviously, it's going to be easier if you have a thicker material, right? So flipping something like pages is going to be harder because it might be harder to grip. So if you can do the pages, great, then you can flip through the pages. But if you're not able to do that, what you can just do is focus on the cover. So opening and closing. Opening and closing. You can have a family member or a caregiver support your hand as you try and pull it open. So that'll help you maintain your grip on the item. What you don't want to do is a lot of trunk and body movements like this. You really want to focus on trying to move the arm out and opening it up. To make it harder You could choose to do the pages like we talked about, or you could even do something like the newspaper and work on trying to get a grip of those items.